Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things through a common sense lens. And you know, we love some rumor mill around here, right, boys and girls? We like covering that kind of stuff, especially when it comes with quasi-reliable sources, or if it's just something that's making the headlines and everybody's talking about it. Whether we actually believe it or not is a completely different situation. But at the end of the day, fans do need to make their voices heard when leaks like these come out, because a lot of the time it ends up being a lot of the studios will leak things to well-known people out there that talk about all this kind of stuff in the pop culture and media entertainment sphere out there, and they'll put things out there just to kind of test the waters. We've seen this happen time and time again in the past. Hoping some of the Harry Potter rumors out there are exactly just that, them testing the waters to see how the fan reaction would be. Well, needless to say, boys and girls, Jeff Snyder is back at it again, and now the rumor is the new Spider-Man movie will feature a non-binary trans version of Chameleon that will actually end up using pronouns, boys and girls, and holy cow, let's hope this is absolute nonsense and absolute garbage. But needless to say, the fans need to make their voices heard. So if anybody over there at Disney Marvel is thinking this is a good idea in any way, shape, or form, they will know that the fans completely and totally disagree. And I'd hope after all of the disastrous dumpster fires that Kevin Feige has had to deal with over the last few years by going down this identity politics path, that this would be something that would get canceled and squashed right away. But hey, you never know. We'll end up seeing what happens. So as you can see here from the headline, Spider-Man 4 villain, non-binary, trans, and uses pronouns? Oh no, boys and girls. Oh no, no. And there are definitely examples of this happening in the modern comics of the series is out there, especially with Marvel. So this is something that they could literally rip right from the comics. It's not something that's unheard of in any way, shape, or form. It actually existed during the comics books out there. And so needless to say, holy cow, this would be a really dumb decision. But hey, if there's nothing else we know that Disney's really good at, is making dumb decisions. So we're going to check out this article from cosmicbook.news, getting all of the juicy details of exactly what is being said about all of this. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 1,700. We're on our way to 1,800, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Would it surprise you at all that Disney Marvel would go down this path with one of the only successful franchises they have in Spider-Man, or do you think this is just another crazy rumor out there that Jeff Snyder is just talking out of his butt, maybe hearing some old information or something like that? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please check the links in the description as well. All right, from cosmicbook.news and our dear sweet Matt McGloin. More rumors surround Spider-Man 4, where apparently the villain goes by pronouns and identifies as non-binary and even trans. Oh joy. I'm sure that's going to go over great with the general audience, just like it has every other time they've not tried this nonsense. Now hasn't, doesn't it, boys and girls? The rumors follow the recent ones about the plot and possible additional characters. Before we dive in, just about every rumor about this movie has sounded like hot garbage, so let's just hope most of them are made up. And yeah, they've all sounded pretty dumb so far, outside of, like, you know, what's her face being Jean Grey. Oh man, I'm having a brain fart right now. Anyway, the chick from Stranger Things actually being like Jean Grey. Outside of that, like, everything else has sounded like pretty hot piles of steam and garbage. But even the whole introduce her as Jean Grey thing doesn't really make a whole lot of sense either. So Sadie Sink, it doesn't really make a lot of sense either to introduce her as Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie. But hey, who knows? Marvel's done weirder things in the past, so let's just hope Jeff Snyder's completely and totally making all this hot garbage up, or if it's from some early draft, maybe some rumor kicked around or something like that. So yeah. So the latest rumor is that villain of Spider-Man 4 will be Chameleon, or at least some sort of take on Chameleon, as the character just appeared in Kraven, which I just watched on Netflix, and it's absolutely horrible. I haven't watched it yet. I thought maybe from some of the trailers, I thought maybe from some of the concepts, it might be interesting early on, and then as soon as they said that they weren't going to do Cravens like traditionally, wasn't going to be a villain, it was just going to be another anti-hero thing, and we're just like, nope, we're all done. And yeah, the Sony Spider-Verse has been absolutely abysmal the entire time. So with Chameleon appearing in Kraven, according to Jeff Snyder, the Spider-Man 4 villain won't be called specifically Chameleon, but will go by another name. More on that below. Snyder also describes the character using pronouns. Note, I don't believe Snyder is referring to two villains via CBM, comic book movie. They won't necessarily be called Chameleon, because that character recently appeared in Kraven the Hunter, even though that movie barely scratched the surface of the character's potential. So yes, they, boys and girls, we're going to get another they, them, another non-binary. Yeah, I'm sure that would go over really well with the Marvel audience. I mean, seriously, this is something that if this actually ends up getting announced, if this actually turns out to be true, like this is going to literally tank the Spider-Man movie, because the average movie-going audience out there, the general fan base for Marvel and for all of the rest of these beloved IPs that Hollywood has just tried to absolutely destroy, they're done with this, right? They see the red flags. They're gonna, they're gonna go, you know what? We're not even gonna bother. I mean, look at the opening weekend for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That movie should have made $1 billion, but because of all the damage that Marvel has done to their brand over the last few years, with all the insane rewrites of characters and gender swaps and race swaps and wham and power nonsense, just the audiences are completely and totally fed up. They're sick of all of this kind of stuff. I mean, things are turning really, really bad for Disney Marvel. They've burned a lot of their fans out there. I mean, Daredevil Born Again's pretty good. I've actually really enjoyed especially the last couple episodes, 5 and 6. Me and my co-host Sunker Maiden, which we review that show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Come check us out for that. We really enjoyed both of those episodes. But the problem is the ratings are still in the dumpster because of all of the damage that Marvel has done to its own brand. It's their own fault, and doing something like this is just literally going to solidify that even more. So what could be happening is that Spider-Man 4 might feature a gender-bent version of Chameleon who uses pronouns. Why? Well, much like how Marvel made Morph gay in the X-Men 97 series, which don't get me started on that. Morph was my homeboy. And for all the good things that Bio DeMeo was saying, they really screwed that one up, and I had no desire to watch it whatsoever. Although from some of my friends that watched it, they actually did say it was pretty good. It was actually really, really well done. Probably the best thing Marvel had produced in a long time. But guess what? They made my boy Morph gay, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. Went from a bromance between him and Wolverine to literally unrequited love by Morph for some kind of giant crush. It was just weird. No. Weird. The animated series that nobody watched, because Morph can change into females or anyone he identifies with. Chameleon has similar powers. Since the character can transform into both male and female, Chameleon in Spider-Man 4 will apparently identify as non-binary and use pronouns. Oh, joy. Worth a mention is that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series that also nobody watched, the ratings have been abysmal for that one, went a similar route with Spidey characters. Oh yes, boy didn't they, boys and girls. Oh, Disney Marvel sure knows how to burn money, don't they? Marvel Comics also changed Mystique into a lesbian and had her have her child, the X-Men's Nightcrawler, with another female. Oh yay, oh joy. I remember all of that, because that makes complete and total sense. You want a character that looks like a quite literal demon to be born of a lesbian relationship. Boy, there's no subtext to that at all, not to mention the fact that the biology simply doesn't work. We could also have possible character description from a Spider-Man 4 casting call. It's revealed the female villain they are apparently looking for is in her 30s to 50s, any ethnicity, and a powerful and imposing figure. Oh, joy. A female villain. Isn't that going to be great? And I'm sure she'll simply be misunderstood as well. The info adds Marvel is seeking the actress with a strong and commanding screen presence and depth for the role. Yeah, good luck finding that in Hollywood at this point. The identity of the female villain might be Lady Chameleon, who was first introduced in Brian Michael Bendis' progressive, i.e. woke, Ultimate Spider-Man comic book, which killed off Peter Parker and replaced him for politically correct purposes with a race swap Miles Morales. Oh yeah, boy, isn't that the kind of character you really want them to introduce in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Oh, what a joy. In the comic, Lady Chameleon is the sister of the Chameleon from the Ultimate Universe named Camilla, who also happens to look trans, because of course she does. Dude, modern Marvel comics and just modern comics from the big two in general are just hot piles of steaming garbage. No wonder their sales are such in the toilet, and the indie scene is absolutely exploding. The Untitled Spider-Man 4 has a release July 31st, 2026 release date. Shang-Chi's Destin Daniel Crichton is directing, which, filming starts soon. Sadie Sink is also reported to have joined Tom Holland. Rumors offer she could be playing the X-Men's Jean Grey or the real version of Mary Jane, which I would absolutely love as well. I think that would be great. Get rid of the whole Zendaya nonsense, the whole alluding to the fact that she's MJ. She doesn't look anything like MJ. She does not qualify to be some kind of Hollywood blockbuster bombshell of a star, which is exactly how Mary Jane Watson is described in the comics over and over again before Peter even meets her. I mean, there's literally two girls that were chasing after Peter Parker. They take one look at Mary Jane and go, we have no chance whatsoever. We're done. We're not even going to bother with this. We're just walking away because she was just that stunning and just that gorgeous. And of course, a redhead, which what more could you possibly ask for, boys and girls? Well, if this rumor ends up being true, there's definitely a lot more we could be asking for from Spider-Man 4. And honestly, at the end of the day, I don't put a lot of stock in this rumor. And the reason why is because we've seen a lot of the changes that have happened behind the scenes over there at Disney Marvel, right? We heard all the rumors about Kevin Feige firing all the activist producers. We've had Bo DeMayo, who was one of the guys fired from Disney Marvel, kind of come out and basically confirm all of that kind of stuff too. He flat out said that they fired a bunch of the people they fired last year in March, including himself, involved a lot of non-binary, a bunch of gay, trans, all the activist kind of people that you would expect that you're trying to purge if you actually want to produce good quality content going forward. And a Daredevil Born Again, like I said, was supposed to be this kind of woke, cult-like, spirit of the age filled nonsense. And of course, Feige fired absolutely everybody involved, hired all new people, and said, make it like Netflix. And they've done a good job of that so far. Same thing with the Blade, right? All the early rumors we heard that Blade was going to end up taking a backseat in his own movie, that it was all going to be all about the girls. There was only going to be a couple of weak fight scenes. It made Ali super mad. Feige fired everybody involved with that one and are pulling in new people for that as well. There's some rumors going around now that Ali is much happier with the new script and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's why you got to take all of this stuff with a grain of salt. And Jeff Snyder has definitely been a guy who in the past has talked out of both sides of his mouth. He'll say one thing and then a couple of weeks later go, well, I also heard this from another source over here. So who knows? So either way, technically he'll end up being right. One of his sources will be accurate. But at the end of the day, boys and girls, I just don't think with the new direction that Kevin Feige and the rest of Disney Marvel does actually seem to be going, I don't think there's any way in hell they would be this stupid to do something like this and introduce this kind of character. But who knows, boys and girls? I've been wrong in the past, but at the end of the day, if they do decide to go down this direction, the fans will certainly let them hear it, and I promise you it will be another disastrous dumpster fire at the box office for Disney Marvel. After all, they've danced with the devil, they've burned all their fans, they've burned themselves, and they will get exactly what they deserve. After all, Kevin Feige, make the fans happy and we'll make you rich. Piss us off and, well, you've seen the tens of billions of dollars you've lost. So make the smart choice and make Jeff Snyder look like a fool, because nobody wants a non-binary chameleon.